Hello friends, welcome back to Learn Etiquette Tutorials. In this video, I am going to show you how to create a multi-branch pipeline jobs in Jenkins using a demo application in GitHub that will build a Docker images, then finally that will deploy as a containers to multiple environments like development and productions. So why do we create multi-branch pipeline? The reason is if you are creating a jobs in Jenkins, there will be an option to provide your source code management repository. So GitHub, Bitbucket, or any other source code management. If you are specifying your repository URL, then there will be an option to specify the branches as well. You can specify a single branch or either you can put the star. So in that case, that particular job will trigger and perform the task based on the branches. If you create any new branches on your GitHub repository, then every time you need to come and modify these jobs. So that is going to be hard for automations. So that is why we create this kind of multi-branch pipeline. Even if you have hundreds of branches, that doesn't matter. This particular multi-branch pipeline job will automatically scan your repository for each branches and that will perform a task defined in the Jenkins file. So you are going to create a single job that will handle multiple branches. So links related to this tutorial series and documents will be mentioned in the description. You can make use of it. If you are interested in learning, then do subscribe now and click near the bell icon for more interesting and useful videos. To show you this demo how to create multi-branch pipeline, I have a repository in my GitHub that is called Busapp Multi-Branch Pipeline. This is a freshly created repository where I have only master branch as of now, and it has a Node.js application as well as the related Jenkins file and related Docker files to build my Docker images and to deploy it. So already I have checked out these repository into my server, and this is the repository and these are the files. And I'm in the branch called master. So let me quickly go through the Docker related files and Jenkins files. Here if you see, this is my Node.js applications. I have all my source code in this particular directory. In order to build Docker images, we would need a Docker file that will have all the instructions. I just build an image from this base image and just copying the code into the Docker image, and I just use work directory and CMD for running the container. So this is a very simple Docker file written for this particular application. So I have written a script to build my image, that is Docker build, and this will have just a Docker build command and pushing it to my Docker Hub registry. And here I have used the version like development as a variable. So this will be used while building the image as well as while pushing the image to Docker Hub. This is just to build the Docker image. Similarly, I have a Docker deploy script. Here I have used two variables, that is one is version and other one is environment. So if the container for development is running, then it will stop and remove the container and it will rerun the container by pulling the latest image. So these are Docker related files. And if you see my Jenkins file, it is a very simple pipeline script. I just started with the pipeline syntax and stages. If you see, I have only two stages. One is to build my Docker and that will call this script. And the other one is to deploy the application into the respective environment. So right now we are in master branch. Let's say if we want to create a branch, development and production, and that will be deployed to the respected environment like development and production. In that case, we need to create a dedicated branch for dedicated environment, and each branch should have a Jenkins file. Then only the multi-branch pipeline will be considered to run that branch. If not, that will show you the error like Jenkins file not found. So let me create a new branches from this master branch. Okay, so we have created the develop branch and we need to modify the related scripts based on the branches and environment. So let me open the Docker build. So here already I have defined the variable as a development. So whenever my Docker build is happening, the image will be pushed in the respective image bus app colon, and the tag will be development. So again, just look out that deploy script. Here also I have mentioned the version correctly. So this is the tag will be used to pull my image, and this is my environment name. Let me commit this change and push it to my remote repository. Now just go to your repository and refresh the page. You can see the new branch called development is pushed. All right. So already I have created the development branch. Now I am going to create the production branch. So make sure you are in the right branch in production. Now just open the related files and modify the version. So here it has to be production. So the image will be built and tagged as production. Also open the deploy script and change the version to production, as well as the environment also should be production. And here, if you see the port number of this application, for development, I have used 8000. So I cannot use the same port for another container. So it has to be different. In that case, I'm going to change this port as 9000. So if I'm accessing my application or 8000 port number, that will take me into the development environment. And if I use 9000 port number, that will take me to the production environment. All right. So the changes are done. Now I will commit the change and push it to my repository. So it is pushed. Now go back to the GitHub and make sure the branch is created. Similarly, you can create n number of branches. That doesn't matter, but please make sure that the Jenkins file exists in all the branches that you want to be part of that multi-branch pipeline. Now go to Jenkins. Let's create a multi-branch pipeline. So click on new item, give some name for your job, and now we need to select multi-branch pipeline. This is the one we are going to use it. Click on OK, and here we need to configure the multi-branch pipeline. You can just give any name over here that is relevant to your project. Under this branch source, we have to give our source code repository URL and related credentials. So I will select GitHub and copy this. And here you need to select your credentials. If you have not added, please add it. So this is the one I'm going to use it for this GitHub repository. Once this is done, just click on validate to make sure you are able to fetch the repository. So credential is okay, it is connected to the GitHub. So the branch source is updated. Now here you can see the behaviors. This is all related to your branches. So let it be default now. Under this build configuration, the mode is already selected by Jenkins file. So you don't need to change anything. If your Jenkins file is in different path, you can specify it. And here, how frequently you want to scan this multi-branch pipeline. So if you select this periodically, and here you will have multiple options to select the intervals. For example, if I select 15 minutes, for every 15 minutes, this particular pipeline job will scan your GitHub, and if it finds any new changes on any branch, that particular branch will start perform the task, even if you have thousands of branches. For now, I'm not going to this one. So that's all. Just click on save. Once you have saved the configuration, it will start automatically scan your repository. So it is checking the branch and it is finding all the branches available in that particular repository. First prerequisites would be Jenkins file. Any branches that has this Jenkins file that will be considered for this multi-branch pipeline. So here if you see on master it has found Jenkins file, development it has found Jenkins file, and also on production also it has found the Jenkins file. So click on the job now. Under this branch, it will list all the branches that has the Jenkins file. Still the scan is going on. So we have to wait till the scan is completed. It would take some time. Let me open one particular branch now, development. And if you see the stages, the first step would be checkout. This stage is coming by default from the multi-branch pipeline itself. After this checkout step, then it will start using your steps that is defined in your Jenkins file. Let me open the console output of this particular build. When you do this for the first time, it will take more time. That completely depends on the size of the source code repository as well as the number of branches. Once the checkout is passed, it has started the stages that we have defined in the Jenkins file. The first stage is Docker build. So it is going on. So once this is finished, my Docker deploy will start. And this is the console output. Now it is building the Docker images. This is a script we have defined in the Jenkins file. If you see the Docker build has completed, it has pushed the images to my Docker hub. Now it started deploying it. So you can define different stages that is relevant to your branches. So this is completed. Now let's go back to the main job. Still the production is going on. As the development branch is completed, we would be able to access our application with the port number 8000 because 8000 is a port we have defined for development environment. So this is our application. And if you try to access your production, still that is not deployed, we have to wait. And if you go to your server and check the status of images or the running pods, so it has deployed only development. So let's wait till the production is get completed. So the production environment is also completed. So if you try to access your application on production port number, I'm able to access it. This is how the multi-branch pipeline scans your every branch and perform based on your Jenkins file. So let's make some changes on the respective branches and we'll see how that reacts with the multi-branch pipeline. So for that demo, I'm going to change the scan interval to 1 minute. So for every 1 minute, this particular multi-branch pipeline will go to your GitHub repository and scan every branches for any new changes. You see the running containers, we could see production and development. In order to make changes, let's switch over to the respective branch. Let's assume you have hundreds of branches and I'm going to make changes only on that development branch. After pushing my changes to Git repository, in 1 minute, respective branch would start performing the task. So make some changes. This is my development application. Okay, so let's change this add email here text. I'm already in a development branch. I'm going to make the change. And this is my directory where all my codes exist. Here we need to find the respective file where the placeholder is. For that, I'm going to check This is the file. Let me open the file and search for the text. Here it is. I'm going to change this one to something else. Enter your mail ID. So I made the changes in my development branch. Okay, before pushing the change, the initial build only happened so far now. There is no job being triggered. And if you want to check the logs of scanning, here scan repository log. Here you can see it. If you see the time 10:08, just now it has started again. It didn't find any changes. Okay, so I push my change to development branch. See, exactly at 1 minute, they started the scan. Okay, if you see the master branch, there is no change, no changes detected. If you see the development branch, changes detected. As the change is detected, if you see on the development branch, there is a new job is triggered. These branches will trigger the build only if there is a new changes found, even if you have hundreds of branches. So it has got one commit, that is placeholder updated. If you see, so only the development branch is triggered, not other branches, because we didn't make changes on other branches. So that is how, even if you have hundreds of branches, it will scan and find the new changes only the branches that has Jenkins file. The job is completed. Now if you access your application, that is development application, the changes is reflected. This is the place where we have changed the value to enter your mail ID. If you see the production environment, still it is the old one. We have not pushed our changes to production environment. If you want the changes to be available on other branches like production or any other branches, then you have to push the changes to your respected branches based on the Jenkins file exist on the branch. The multi-branch pipeline will scan your branch and it will start perform the task. So this is how we create multi-branch pipeline projects. So this cannot be easily done. So we have to prepare everything during the planning phase itself, like how many branches you want and how do you want your Jenkins file to be run along with your different stages. So it's all based on that planning. I hope you have got some idea through this video about multi-branch pipeline. So see you in the next video. Till then, keep practicing and have fun. How did you feel? Is it helpful? Appreciate our efforts in the comment section below. Hit like button, share with your friends about us, subscribe our channel to get further updates. Stay connected with us on social networking sites. For more free tutorials, visit our website www.learneticguide.net.